Okay, all right. Good evening again. Our April 14, 2025 meeting is called to order. We're going to have prayer by yours truly, and then our Councilwoman at Large is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Will we all stand for prayer and pledge? Let us pray. Oh, dear God, we should always begin by saying how grateful we are for your many blessings, because there are many. There are so many in which we can't even count. It's like the psalmist said, if you had 10,000 tongues, it wouldn't be enough to praise you. So much that we have to be thankful for, our colleagues, our families, the city in which we live. Lord God, we just thank you for everything that you have allowed to happen. And I pray that we would live, as I always pray, in the spirit in which Paul talks about, that we be decently and in order. It's okay to disagree, but we don't have to have a spirit of disagreeableness. We thank you for that now. And let us all operate with the mindset of the best outcome for the city of Natchitoches. And I thank you, Lord God, for the boom days ahead, the rolling times, better days. We know that we will be stronger, that our future is greater than any day in our past. We thank you for the great things you have in store for us, and that the decisions that we make would lead to that and allow that to happen. It's in your Son, Jesus' name, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you, Councilwoman at Large, for that pledge. Now we're going to read an approval of our minutes from our most recent meeting on March 24th.
Mayor, I want to make a motion that we dispense with the reading of the minutes of March 24th and that they be adopted as recorded if there be no corrections.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adopt the minutes as they have been recorded. Any comment about this particular motion? All right, seeing none, Mrs. Stacy, roll call vote.
Eli?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Harrington?
Yes.
Petrie?
Yes.
All right, that motion carries. Now we've got special recognition. Employee of the Month, Ms. Sharon Durham, and she happened to be here with us. Not all of our employees come, but Sharon is here. Would you like to have a few words? Again, Sharon is dedicated. She's very passionate about what she does for the city. You may know her from the Farmers Market, Mayor's Health and Fitness Council, but basically anything that needs to be done. So are you speaking to us? Oh, she's not speaking. All right, Ms. Shauna, is there anything you'd like to say?
I can't believe she's not speaking.
She works out of the Community Development Department. You got anything, Ms. Shauna, about Sharon?
So I'll just say that from the parade to being one of those employees that you can call for anything, Ms. Sharon will do it. She doesn't hesitate when it comes to doing anything for the city. So we're excited about Ms. Sharon getting it.
We certainly appreciate her contribution. Again, the energy that she brings. Going to ask, we've already got a picture out there on social media, but look, if we can get Sharon to come, and Shauna, you as well, we'll take another picture. Hopefully our friends at Natchitoches Times and at the Journal will cover that for us. Come on, Ms. Sharon.
Don't be shy, Sharon. Come on.
So we've already given her a little goodie bag, if you would have. Totally appreciation. Keep rocking and rolling for us, Sharon. All right. Now, the next item on the agenda, we've got special guest. Callie Christ couldn't be here, but we do have the Natchitoches representative who's here. Will you please, ma'am, come to the microphone, state your first and last name, and introduce whoever you need to introduce. I see a familiar face. This is about Big Brothers Big Sisters of Acadiana, which has an operation here in Natchitoches.
Hi, I'm Jalissa Lloyd. I'm the mentoring specialist here with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Natchitoches. We run a one-to-one mentoring program in the school as well as in the community and also through the Boys and Girls Club. Right now, well, right here we have one of our matches, Miss Sarah Rochelle and Miss Isis McZeal. They are matched through our school-based program here at Weaver. They've been matched since December. Through the months, I've seen them and their connection grow. I've seen Isis's personality flourish, so I'm really excited for you guys to hear a little bit more about them and their journey here in Natchitoches.
All right, thank you. All right, Mrs. Rachel, good to have you here tonight. Y'all just, whoever's going to speak, state your first and last name, and then we can, whatever you want to share.
Absolutely. Thank you. My name is Sarah Rachel, and this is
Isis.
my little Isis. And it's truly an honor to be here today to share a little bit about our experience in the Big Brother, Big Sister program. When I joined this program, of course, like so many of us say, I was in it hoping to make a difference in someone's life, but I have truly gained someone who's made a difference in my life, and she is Isis, very special to me. She has the best laugh. She is a little nervous today, but she has the best laugh and the best smile. And it just stays with you. It's contagious. It warms my heart to see her every day with that big smile. She wanted me to share that one of the things that she likes to do with her and I is to play games and talk. And what's our favorite game we like to play?
Guess who?
Guess who? And that's one of our favorites. It might seem like just a board game, but for us, it's been a window into the growth and trust that we've developed over the last couple of months. When she first started playing this game, just to talk a little bit about Isis, is that she was very cautious. Like, she would wait until the very end before she would guess who my person was. But now she's started to be a little less cautious. We've seen a shift. She started to take risks. She makes guesses earlier. She laughs even when she gets it wrong. And so she's finding that, you know, we all make mistakes and it's okay. But the most important thing is that the meaning and the time that we have together and just being confident and courageous. And we're seeing that with Isis. She's truly just becoming her own, coming out of her shell, like Jaleesa just shared with you. I just can't say enough about just how grateful I am to be a part of this program and to be matched with Isis. You've been a joy, and I can't wait to continue our journey together. And she is definitely brings laughter and heart into my life, and so it's been great.
Oh, wow. Wow. Awesome.
Wonderful. That's
Wonderful.
You want to say anything?
And, you know, I say Mrs. Rachel is one of our great citizens, residents here in the city of Natchitoches. You know, that's what it takes. It takes residents who care to step in and fill a void, to help, to mentor some of our students. Isis, we certainly appreciate you as well for being willing to be a part of the program. So really grateful to have Big Brothers Big Sister here. And again, folks like Mrs. Rachel and also Isis for being willing to participate and give that guidance, that direction. So again, really thankful for you all doing that.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Isys.
That's a unique name. Isis. It's a pretty name.
Isis.
I was gonna say,
Very pretty.
MC Z as in zebra, EAL. Okay.
Look,
Thank
we do.
Thank
look,
y'all for having us.
We do have a check presentation we'd like to make. City Council, if you don't mind jumping in this picture as well. Isis, I know Ms. Rachel and Isis, if y'all want to be a part. But we'll
Thank
do
you
that
for
real quick.
making a difference in someone's life, Ms.
Yes.
Rachel. Appreciate you.
Appreciate your dedication as well, Jaleesa. You've been great, been fantastic. All right, we've got a few proclamations that we need to deal with, proclaim, I guess. The first one is Councilman Nielsen.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution number 29 of 2025, proclamation declaring April 13 through 19, 2025 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services, and whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And whereas the safety of our officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the Natchitoches Emergency Communication Center, and whereas public safety telecommunicators are the single vital link for our police officers and firefighters by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information and ensuring their safety, and whereas the public safety telecommunicators of the Natchitoches Police Department have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients, and whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job in the past year. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City of Natchitoches declares the week of April 13 through 19, 2025 to be National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in Natchitoches in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our city and citizens safe. Therefore, be it resolved, I, Ronnie Williams, Jr., Mayor, and the Natchitoches City Council hereby proclaim the week of April 13 through 19, 2025 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in the city of Natchitoches. And I move that we adopt resolution number 29 of 2025.
Second.
All right, motion made and seconded. This is really important that we give honor and recognition to our telecommunicators, our dispatchers located at the 911 center. And, not only through proclamation, but also there's something happening in just a couple days, a few days, that we certainly want to recognize their efforts. They are the folks behind the curtains, but they play a critical role in terms of public safety, whether there's a fire. The only way our firemen can get the word is through the dispatch, whether there's something going on, a wreck, or wherever it may be, somebody's in an emergency. It's through our dispatchers. So we really appreciate their work. It is a stressful job. It's a challenging job. You can imagine all that they hear. They're the front line to hearing these things, hearing people in a panic and people hurt and things of that nature. People's lives are on the line. So we cannot say enough how much we should certainly appreciate them. And so I know both Chief Wynn and Chief Collins are both impacted by the work of our telecommunicators. So I'm not sure if y'all did rock, paper, scissors to see who's going to say something, but I think somebody should say something about our telecommunicators.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to point out how critical the telecommunicators are for what we do as law enforcement and in the fire profession. When people call us in a panic state, it's critical they get the information and that they relay it. During Katrina, we lost our communications, and we saw the chaos and the outcome of that. We, as the Natchitoches Police Department, and I think I speak for Chief Wynn, are very privileged and honored to have our communicators. They're well-trained. They continually try to take on new tasks and skill sets. Due to laws that have changed, there's a lot of things that they have to learn, that they have to be certified in, and provide those services to the citizens of Natchitoches. Our people have stepped up, and they're actually excited. They have a communications supervisor that leads them. Out of those 8 personnel that work for the city of Natchitoches, they took in 19,503 calls. 890 of those were accident reports, calls for service, and some of those were real extreme cases. We've had several fatalities. We've had several serious injuries. People want to know that they have someone on the other end of that line. And just like you said, Mayor, they often don't know when the situation has been brought back down to a safe environment. So they're under a tremendous amount of stress. They're concerned about those citizens that need help. They're concerned about those first responders that are going there to be put in harm's way. And they want to make sure that they do the job that they need to provide those services. So I too commend those communicators, and I look forward to the week of activities that they have planned to celebrate. We do have the opportunity each year to do that.
It's hard to follow up after Chief Collins. All I can do is say that he said a whole lot, and they are the first line of defense for us. They receive that call first before we even get toned or paged out for anything. So they're dealing with people in a very high stress manner, and all I got to do is praise them and thank them for what they do and continue the fine work. And he did say something about education. Look, whether you know it or not, these people, they're in school and doing all kinds of work all the time. So they're not just sitting behind the desk answering the phone call. They're also managing classes and things like that on their spare time when they have it. So.
I had the pleasure of going out there this morning and paying them a visit, and that group is very passionate about what they do, very professional, and just can't say enough about the job that they do and keeping us safe. Did you two want to accept this?
Well, no, look,
or-
they're looking at Daquan Johnson back there. So Daquan is here. She's our supervisor. I don't know if you have some remarks, Daquan, that you like to say. Okay, yeah, please come to the microphone and say your first and last
I
name.
didn't see you back there. You hide.
Hello, everybody. I'm Daquan Johnson. I'm the supervisor of communications for the Natchitoches Police Department. We are excited for Telecommunicator Week. It's begun already. We have so many activities for everybody. This is our week to celebrate everybody for their hard work and dedication. She's mentioned that we have been putting in a lot of work with getting in compliance with the law. We have become CPR certified. We have been brushing up on so many things so that we can be ready for whatever is on the other end of that phone call. And I'm just grateful to be here tonight and that you all are recognizing us because we appreciate it.
Thank you for all you do.
All right, any other comments about this proclamation? All right, seeing none, Mrs. Stacy, roll call vote.
Eli.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Harrington.
Yes.
Peachy.
Yes.
Yep. Let's get Daquan coming, both our chiefs coming as well. We get a picture. Certainly appreciate our dispatchers, our telecommunicators. Telecommunicators, it might be the official way to say it. All right, next we've got a proclamation. This one is going to be read by Councilman P.T.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution number 030 of 2025, a proclamation declaring April 2025 as National Child Abuse Prevention Month in the city of Natchitoches. Whereas National Child Abuse Prevention Month is an annual opportunity to raise awareness about issues surrounding child abuse and neglect and engage community members in the ongoing effort to keep children safe. Whereas CASA is one of a group of National Child Abuse Prevention Partner Organizations selected by the Children's Bureau to serve as partners in the National Child Abuse Prevention Initiative. Whereas the work of CASA and volunteers is crucial to preventing child abuse and ensuring that children live in a safe and permanent environment where they can thrive. Whereas studies have indicated that children with the CASA volunteer are less likely to lavish in long-term foster care, more likely to receive needed services, and less likely to re-enter the foster care system. Whereas child abuse prevention requires partnerships among federal, state, and local governments, faith-based and community-based organizations, schools, law enforcement, and social services agencies, and parents. Whereas during the National Child Abuse Prevention Month and throughout the year, I encourage all citizens of Natchitoches to find ways to cherish our children, strengthen our families, work together to eliminate child abuse and neglect, and strive toward a shared dream in which every child is safe and happy. May I so move to adopt ordinance number 030.
A second.
Motion made and seconded. Look, this is really important, the work of, this is CASA. CASA, right? Is that right? Doing this great work. Look, and we've got to support CASA. We want to do that. They've got a couple of annual events that they have, and we want to make sure we support them. Look, child abuse is real, and it's sad when it happens. I was actually, that was a, I'm a news junkie, but something came, Detroit. I don't know if y'all saw this, but there was a parent who left their kids abandoned for years. And those kids were sleeping on pizza boxes. Their hair was all matted up and just very deplorable conditions. So they were 15-year-old boy, and obviously the frame of their bodies didn't look the age that they really were. So, of course, you think of physical abuse and you think of neglect and just anyway. So we appreciate the work of CASA. Look, I want you to come forward and state your first and last name, but just share with us whatever you want to share in terms of some of the other initiatives that CASA has as it relates to child abuse.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Emily Dahl. I am the director for CASA of Central Louisiana. I first want to say thank you for recognizing April as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month. This recognition means so much to us because it brings attention to an issue that is sadly becoming more common in our community each year. Over this past year, our CASA program served 120 children who experienced abuse or neglect. The majority of those children were under the age of 10 years old. That statistic is heartbreaking, and it's a powerful reminder of why the work our volunteers do is so critically important. Currently, we have 24 active volunteers, and we are always looking for more compassionate individuals to join us. If you or someone you know is interested in becoming a CASA volunteer, we would love to talk with you. The process begins with a background check and training. After that, you would be sworn in by a judge and assigned to a child in need of care. And as a CASA volunteer, you would meet with your child each month to ensure that their needs are being met, whether that means arranging counseling, tutoring, medical care, or advocating for a placement change. Every 6 months, you'll then attend court, and you'll share your findings and recommendations directly with the judge. In many cases, your voice is the most consistent one that child will have throughout their journey in foster care. We truly appreciate your support in helping us raise awareness and bring this issue to the forefront in our community. And I also want to say, We have a pinwheel campaign that we do. We started it last year. This is our second year we've done it. Thank you, Mayor Ronnie, for getting with us. Miss Betty, you got with us too. And Mr. Collins, thank you very much. And yeah, thank you.
When did you say that you have a little crawfish ball, a shrimp thing you do? When is that?
That's for our Pillars for CASA. It's kind of like a separate event.
Oh, okay.
For our,
It's not a fundraiser?
we're trying to raise more pillars.
Okay.
So our current pillars, we have a shrimp bowl that we do for them every April as well.
Okay. Oh, I thought that was one of your fundraising events. Okay.
I
Well,
just
look,
wanna
appreciate the work you do.
Yeah, I just want to say, I appreciate what you do. I've been a foster parent for many years, from infants to teenagers, and I know that you all have played a major part in excuse me, in foster children's lives, and I appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
Yep. All righty. Any other
Thank you.
comments or questions for Ms. Dahl? Again, we thank you so much. We want you to not go too far. At this time, Mr. Stacy? Yeah. Roll call vote.
Eli?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Harrington?
Yes.
And Teague?
Yes.
Right. That motion carries. Ms. Dahl, we'd like to get a picture with you with the proclamation. Do you have another representative here? Okay. Two? Okay, yeah, please.
And if you haven't gotten your pinwheels, please do. They're beautiful. I love them.
Can you still get them? Why didn't you finally get in the pictures?
Certainly, y'all keep up the great work in this effort. Last proclamation of the night is read by Councilwoman at-large Smith.
Thank you, Mayor. This is resolution number 031 of 2025, a proclamation declaring April 2025 as Fair Housing Month in the city of Natchitoches. Whereas the 57th anniversary of the National Fair Housing Law, Title 8 of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, during the month of April is an occasion for all Americans, individually and collectively, to rededicate themselves to the principle of freedom from housing discrimination whenever it exists. And whereas fair housing should never be denied to any citizens because of race or color, religion, sex, national origin, familial status, or disability. And whereas a fair housing law has been passed by the state of Louisiana, and implementation of the law requires the positive commitment, involvement, and support of each of our citizens. And whereas the department and agencies of the state of Louisiana are to provide leadership in the effort to make fair housing not just an idea, but an idea for all our citizens. And whereas our state is great because of all her citizens have a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now therefore be it resolved, I, Ronnie Williams Jr., Mayor, and the Natchitoches City Council hereby proclaim the month of April 2025 as Fair Housing Month in the city of Natchitoches. And Mayor, I move to adopt resolution number 031 of 2025.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Certainly an important proclamation as well. People shouldn't be denied housing based on color, religion, as it says on that second line, sex, national origin, familial status, or disability. So again, this is really significant. We don't have anybody to receive it, but I will say this. This is one of those that typically go with a lot of your OCD grants, your Office of Community Development on the state level. They want to know that you passed that and that you have it, and they always look at in their long list of things that they want to check off. So it's important in practice, but also important as we apply for different state funding, probably federal funding as well, I would say. Any comment about this particular proclamation? All right, seeing none, Mrs. Stacy, roll call vote.
Eli,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Harrington.
Yes.
PT.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries. All right, we've got one, no, we got more than that, but right now, I guess, a P and Z introduction, and Chantrell couldn't be here to explain tonight, but I think it's kind of self-explanatory when we read it. It's read by Councilwoman Washington Eli.
Thank you, Mayor. Order number 010 of 2025. Ordinance amending ordinance number 64 of 2001 by changing the zone classification of property described as following. Tract 0.253 acres shown at plot by Brandon C. Thornton. Date June the 24th of 2025. Record at map slide 686, 6A 424 Front Street, whereas the Planning Commission of the City of Natchitoches, Louisiana, has recommended at the meeting on April the 1st of 2025 that the application of the Natchitoches Peak Company to rezone the property described as above, B3 to B3 with A zoning to open up a restaurant, wine selling and tasting be approved. And this is just for introduction only.
All right, as it states, looks like they're trying to get some alcohol, at least for some wine and some, to have wine available at the restaurant. So I think we've heard of the picnic company. You know, I've had some of their catering food, and or their catered food, I should say, and it's excellent. So not sure if there's any comment, but it does say that it was recommended at the Planning Commission on April 1st. So it's recommended to approve this. All right? Any comment, Council, about this?
We're so proud of the picnic company. This is the second growth spurt.
What is
So
located?
they've moved
They
from
were down.
East Natchitoches over to the little nook on Church Street, and
Oh,
now
okay.
they're moving over to the old Dickens and Company building and spreading their wings. So
Awesome, that's great.
should be a great move.
Would you like to come and say something about what you're doing, what your plans are?
Yeah. Where the Christmas store is.
And please state your first and last name and just.
Hi, I'm Laurie Berry, the owner of Natchitoches Picnic Company. We opened in 2021 over on South Drive, and 2023 made a move to downtown on Church Street. Have only been there for a year and a half, and we are really outgrowing the space. And so thank you all for those of you who are familiar with our food and you come and visit us there. We're moving to Miss Sandra Dickens' old space at 524 Front Street. There will be seating, finally. We've been grab and go since COVID when we opened. So we will have tables and chairs. What we serve, we're a deli, specialty food company, and catering company. So you'll be able to come in and buy your specialty foods, prepared meals, and of course, our regular lunch menu is a picnic-style menu with sandwiches, soups, salads, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So we just wanted to add bottles of wine to our picnic baskets and have some wine tastings in the evenings.
Okay.
Sounds
What
good.
hours are you open?
I'm sorry, say
What
again?
hours will you be open until?
Just till 6 or 7 p.m.
6 or
Right now,
7
we're
p.m.
10 a.m. to 6 p.m. We'll probably move to 7 p.m. So after that, we have private events in our, so we are not an evening restaurant or a bar. So just catered events in the evenings. We're aiming for June 1st.
Oh, that's close.
But as you all know, permits sometimes take time. Working on it.
It's great.
Well, look, excited about this. You've expanded. I didn't realize that. And I think I remember seeing you on South Drive, and I knew about the location here, on Church
Right,
Street.
right.
But no, that's certainly going to give you more visibility, being on Front Street,
Think
everything
so,
that happens there. So, look, I'm excited for you.
Thank you all for your support.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, all right. And again, this is just introduced. I think, you know, I don't like to speak for the council, but I think everybody probably is going to like this one. So, okay, all right. So we'll deal with it at our next meeting on the 28th. We do have a couple ordinances for final. The first one is read by Councilwoman Elora Smith.
Thank you, Mayor. This is ordinance number 008 of 2025, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Natchitoches, Ronnie Williams, Jr., to execute a lease in favor of Elliott Properties, LLC. Whereas the city of Natchitoches is the owner of those lots shown on the airport layout plan, which lots are available for lease. Whereas the airport manager, Justin Foshee, has negotiated the terms of a lease to Elliott Properties of that property described as 21,785.76 square foot area, more fully shown on a survey by A.J. Burriett, dated June 8, 1962, and an 18,007 square foot area on that survey by Brandon C. Thornton, dated September 17, 2021. Whereas further, the terms of the lease are for a 25-year period with consideration of $3,979.57. There's a 27 cents and 57 cents, so I don't know which one it is. So that need to be corrected. Dollars per year, all as set forth in attached lease agreement by and between the city of Natchitoches and Elliott Properties, together with an option to renew for an additional 25-year period. Now therefore, be it ordained by the city council in legal session convened that after due proceedings and all advertisement, the city does lease that property described for the term of 25 years with an initial annual consideration of $3,979.27 with an option to extend the lease for an additional 25-year term. That notice of this proposed ordinance be published 3 times in 15 days, 1 week apart, in the Natchitoches Times, the Legal Journal for the city, and that ordinance be posted in the City Hall. This ordinance was introduced on March 10th, 2025, and published in the Natchitoches Times on March 15th, March 22nd, and March 29th, 2025. And I move for adoption of, I'm sorry, this is for no, it's for adoption. I move for adoption of ordinance number 008 of 2025.
Second.
Motion made and second. I know that Brandon Thornton's name is in this one and the previous one. Is that the same guy we're using for the, just curious, for the fire station? That's him? That's him? Oh, different guy. Who are we using, Chief Wynn, for the fire station?
Stan Tech.
No, the guy we're using, the person.
Oh, Brandon Cooper.
Brandon Cooper.
Yes.
All right, different person. Okay, Ed, I know you're ready to say something.
Yeah, no, it was introduced a month ago, 2 meetings ago, and this is just for a land lease at the airport. Norwest will eventually build a hangar on it. In fact, the steel for the hangar is on site. These are the folks you see flying in the crop dusters. See crop dusters flying over town all the time. That's who this is. Been a good tenant at the airport, buy a lot of fuel, and have a strong presence at the airport.
Okay. Any comments or questions about this? All right. Seeing none, Mr. Stacy, roll call vote.
Eli,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Harrington,
Yes.
McKee.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries. All right, next we've got the, before that, I'm sorry, I was supposed to do this way back when. The city council encourages public participation. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. However, this limit may be reduced if there are numerous speakers on a particular item. To ensure efficient proceedings, all persons addressing the city council shall state their name and shall speak in a civil and courteous manner. Speakers shall address the agenda topic only to which they are speaking on and shall not be repetitive. Members of the audience, please respect the rights of others and do not create noise or other disturbances so as to disrupt or disturb persons who are addressing city council, council members who are speaking, or otherwise impede the orderly conduct of the meeting. And thank you for that. Also says silence your cell phones at the beginning of the meeting. So again, thank you for that. All right, Councilman Nielsen.
Thank you, Mayor. You must be trying to keep me to 3 minutes, huh?
Well, look, I was supposed to say the last time.
Ordinance number 9 of 2025, an ordinance adopting the budget for the city of Natchitoches for the fiscal year June 1, 2025 through May 31, 2026. Whereas the fiscal year of the City of Natchitoches is from June 1 through May 31 of each year, and whereas a budget has been prepared by the Finance Director, Clarissa Brown Smith, and has been submitted by the Mayor, Ronnie Williams Jr., to the City Council for review and consideration. Now therefore be it ordained that the Natchitoches City Council does hereby adopt the budget for fiscal year June 1, 2025 through May 31, 2026. And general fund is $22,154,234. Proprietary fund utility, $37,789,685. And special and capital project funds, $44,346,557. Be it further ordained in accordance with LRS 391305, filing specifies the mayor's authority to make budgetary amendments without approval of the governing body, as well as those powers reserved solely to the governing body. The Home Rule Charter of the City of Natchitoches states, in part, at any time during the fiscal year, the mayor may transfer part or all of any unencumbered appropriation balance among programs within a department, office, or agency. Upon written request by the mayor, the council may, by ordinance, transfer part or all of any unencumbered appropriation balance from one department, office, or agency to another. Supplemental, emergency, or reductions or appropriations must be submitted to the council for approval by ordinance. And this ordinance was introduced on March 24, 2025, and published in the Natchitoches Times on March 29, 2025.
All right, look, and I shared this with the council. I just shared again. I think this is a good budget. We try to make all of our budgets a good budget. Obviously, you can't do everything you want to do. I mean, it's this idea of scarcity where your needs and wants are always greater and cost more than the available funding you have, no matter how big or small the organization is. But as I shared with the council, I think via email, it includes things in here such as $900,000 to do some water line replacements, which we typically do $700,000, but we've increased it by $200,000. I know in the grand scheme of things, it's just a drop in the bucket, but it is an increase in that so that we can get more of those accomplished. And we'll continue to look for grant funding to help to supplement our regular dollars. We also, I'm trying to remember, of course, the water treatment plant, and Clarissa did a wonderful job with the budget hearing earlier. And she's been getting a citizen budget together. We may have some more copies for those who weren't able to make it here at 4:30, so just grab you. It just simplifies the budget for us. So again, we said it includes the water treatment project that we're working on. We're going to continue to update you on that. That's a good project for the city to be able to provide, so that we're not just at capacity, but we've increased our capacity, increased our ability to produce more water. So, I mean, that's good, potentially for economic development as well. I think we said that's $650,000 for streets in here. There's $34,000 for the Henry O. Flipper Foundation to get them, to let them continue. I think they've got 3 homes already that they've established and built. So again, we just to see more of that. They're certainly going to need partnership from the city, and another organization is going to help them with that. So like I said, I think it's a really good budget. Obviously, again, you can't do everything that you want to do in any particular year, but we also got the fire station there. Even though it's capital outlay funds, we still have to include it in our budget, I think we said, right, Clarissa?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I don't know if there's anything else you said. Like I said, you covered a lot at the budget hearing.
Yes, sir.
So
I want
anything else
to
you wanna
make
say?
note that we do need to, and Alex, you can instruct us on this, on adjusting the figures so that it is voted on appropriately. So what we discussed earlier with the changes to the general fund and to the special fund, I just want to make sure we state that on record so it's voted on appropriately.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Do we need to say it now, Alex, or?
If we're going to make the amendment now, yeah, I think it's going to be a change to the general fund and also the special fund, not substantial, just a slight change. And we need to amend the ordinance to reflect that change.
But just verbalize it, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, just, you got the language you want to say it, Larissa? Is that you? You have the language, or who has the language?
I'm not sure if I have the language, but I can reiterate what was discussed at the budget hearing, that there was a change from 22 million to 21.8 million on the general fund, and then on the special fund from 44 million to 43.7. So that's what was discussed in the budget hearing. And that information was forwarded to the council for consideration previous to this meeting.
Mayor, I would like to move that we table the voting on this on this budget at this time. There are some questions, not questions, but well, questions too, but there are some things that I still would like to look over further. We have until, well, the end of May to really approve this budget.
Second meeting in May.
Yeah, so I would like to make a motion that we amend, that we table this motion to adopt this budget at this time.
And I'll second it, but I think the next meeting, we should be in position.
Yeah, and I'll just say, just so we're clear, the charter does lay, and I kind of laid that out in our email earlier, the charter does lay out a 45-day. So if there are any substantial changes, if there are any substantial changes, there could be a challenge there. But it is correct that we have to at least have it, we got a little time.
Corrected, we got some time.
Yeah, we got a little time, so. And we do have to do, it's somewhat tedious, but I do want to say it, we do have to make sure that it's in the paper, which our official journal is the Natchitoches Times, that it makes the paper 10 days before, whenever we vote on it. Yeah, so just want to make sure that's clear. Okay. Any additional comment or question about the budget?
One thing, Mr. Alex, do we need to amend the figures now?
Or can we?
Yes, I would like to go ahead and amend the figures to correct the general fund and the special fund.
Yes, sir.
Then after voting for that, to amend it, then you can move to table it until we vote on the next time.
Okay.
Special fund lists all of our grant oh, you said how much? I'm so sorry that you said what is the special fund? The special fund right now is 43.7 million is what is budgeted.
So I guess if we can get a council member to.
43 or 44?
It's 43. It changed from 44. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
So the motion will be something like, I move to amend the budget to, what's the language?
Yeah, so we would move to amend the proposed budget with the following being the corrected totals: general fund 21.8 million, proprietary fund being 37.7 million, and with the special funds being 43.7 million, with a total operating budget of $103,340,554.
Can we just say I move to amend the budget based on what the finance director provided? They don't have to say
I
how
move
to do
to
that.
amend the budget to the numbers that our
figures.
finance director, Clarissa Brown Smith, just gave us.
I second to commend to the new figures.
Okay, motion is made and seconded on the amendment of those new figures. Any comment or question about that? I think Clarissa laid out what that was, but anybody got anything? All right, seeing none, Mr. Stacy, on the amendment, roll call vote.
Eli.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Harrington.
Yes.
PT.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries. Now we have another motion to table, and it has been seconded. Any comment or question about that?
No.
All right, seeing none, Mr. Stacy, roll call vote.
Eli.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Harrington.
Yes.
PT.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries as well. Okay, we've got several items for introduction and 2 resolutions to deal with. The first one for introduction is read by Councilman Harrington.
This is ordinance 11 of 2025, an ordinance to provide for sale of adjudicated properties and further providing for respect thereto. Whereas the city of Natchitoches has an interest in the health, safety, and welfare of its citizens, and whereas numerous properties have been adjudicated to the city for non-payment of taxes, and whereas Act 819 was enacted by the 2008 legislative session, revising Louisiana Revised Statute 472121 to establish procedures for the sale of adjudicated properties, and the City of Natchitoches desires to establish and adopt such procedures in order to place adjudicated properties back into the economic stream of commerce for the benefit of its communities. The remainder of this ordinance is quite lengthy, and it goes into the pre-bidding process for adjudicated properties, the bidding and public sales, notice of tax debtor and parties, closing transactions, purchaser's affidavit, et cetera, et cetera. But this is for introduction only.
This is gonna, now y'all remember something called Civic Source. Like I said, I know Clarissa can
I've dealt
touch
with
on
it.
this later on. And, you know, Civic Source had some promises that they really didn't deliver on. I was actually at the Mid-South City Conference in Minden, and I think this particular person who presented, she may be West Monroe based, but actually this came up in our tax commission meeting. So it came up in my Mid-South City, but then we had a tax commission meeting, and so the attorney for the tax commission brought it up and just raved about how good this program was, and it's about clearing those adjudicated properties. And I think it is going to have some positive effect on us in terms of, you know, getting clear title, so forth, so on. They've done some marvelous work, and I may be able to get the individual, maybe if we can get her through Zoom or something, to at the next meeting. I may be able to reach out and get her on that. But I think it's a really good program that works. Again, Chantrell's not here today to elaborate more, but it's designed to get those properties that have been adjudicated to the city back into commerce, because that's really what we want them to be. All right, we don't want them in the city's hands, or as Councilwoman Washington Eli was saying, we have to worry about cutting this and cutting that and worry about our budget for that. We know a private owner can maintain it and do better with it, just because of our manpower is limited, and we have so many other adjudicated properties that we're doing that we can reduce our list and hopefully get to zero, right? That'd be great if we're able to get to that. But again, that's what this is designed to do. To get the clear title, so forth, so on.
So you're saying we're going with Civic Source? Because I know at one time.
Well, no, this is not Civic Source. Yeah, we haven't, Civic Source hadn't even been mentioned much at all around City Hall. So
Okay, I
it's
just want to
not.
make sure we're not.
Oh, yeah, this is not connected with Civic
Okay,
Source.
okay.
This is a different process. I don't know if there's a name of the company in it, but
Is
it might be more
through
service.
LMA?
Yeah, I
What's
think
that?
it's
Look at that. Did you say what?
E&P Consulting Service.
Is that what it says in here?
Yeah, it's a attorney that she just kind of had figured out the perfect way to handle these. I don't know if
Yep.
it's not like a digital system or anything like that. It's a group of individuals that just have kind of perfected the process of getting these adjudicated properties back on the tax roll.
Yeah, E&P, that's what it
has
is.
been, and she just has the capacity and the time to do so. So she's been,
Is
Yeah,
the
that main
the
thing.
big problem.
Yeah,
So how
clear
long
Yeah,
is
E&P
gonna
Consulting.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
That's right.
E&P.
Don't leave us, Chief Wynn. No, no, no. No, I'm messing with you. Yes, sir. See you later. Appreciate your work. Councilman Harrington said you got to go put out fires. Oh, really? Oh, you seem serious. Okay.
E&P Consulting, right?
No, it wasn't a joke. Okay. Look, so, hey, so
He's on the
look,
job.
we will, I can try to reach out to the same person who presented, at least get it by Zoom, because again, having to come from Monroe, you know, at least get it by some type of Zoom, and so y'all can see it. But what I've seen and what we heard at the tax commission meeting as well, by the attorney of the tax commission, these folks know what they're doing with this, and they're go-getters, and they work it, and it's a good, it could be beneficial for us in the adjudicated property area. All right?
Okay.
All right. All right, moving on to the next item for introduction, and it's read by Councilman PT.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 012 of 2025, an ordinance to provide for the amendment of the Personnel Policies Manual to alter the organizational chart of the City of Natchitoches to relocate Main Street from finance to community development, providing for advertising, further providing for severability, and further providing for a repealer and effective date of ordinance. Whereas the City of Natchitoches is permitted and authorized under the authority of Section 409 of the Charter of the City of Natchitoches, Louisiana, to create city departments and reallocate the functions, powers, duties, and responsibilities of departments. Whereas further, a proposal has been made to relocate Main Street from its current location under the Finance Department to the Community Development Department, so that Main Street would be under the direction of the Community Development Department. Whereas further, the relocation of Main Street on the organizational chart will further require that the Personnel Policies Manual be amended to provide for an altered organizational chart. And this is for introduction.
Yeah, now the reason for this is I think some years ago, I can't really trace it to when it was, maybe Ed knows, I don't know. I believe Main Street used to be under community development.
It used to be.
And then
Yeah,
somewhere-
I'm not sure why the change.
Somewhere it got switched to finance. Now, and then we're all city employees, no doubt, but the thing about it is that community development, it's beautification, it's farmers market, it's not just downtown, there's some other areas, the entrance sign that comes in, the triangle on Texas Street that they look out in terms of keeping it cut, keep flowers growing and things like that. But this relates specifically to downtown, the Main Street office is right there. This is going to be a city employee. And they're going to be kind of the eyes and ears, if you will, to make sure Front Street always looks good for us. We want to make sure that that is something that we stay on top of as much as we certainly possibly can. So it just makes sense for it to go back under community development, in my estimation. Because here's the thing, finance has employees, but they're in the office, they're, accounts payable, they're doing financial documents. So community development is that department if there's some grass that needs to be cut or there's something that's out of whack on Front Street, it's going to be routed back there. So it just makes sense for us on paper to put this back where it was. All right, and that's really what we're doing here. So don't know if y'all got any comment or questions about that. All right.
I'm not going to elaborate, but at this point, I'm not in favor of this move. I think it needs to be left where it is. There's a reason it got pulled under finance, and it was because of the Christmas festival back in the day was part of it. And at this time, there's another ordinance coming up behind it where we're working in partnership with the Downtown Business Group, and I think that is a much better place for it. So in light of what's going on at community development. So I think we just stay pat. We can always move it at a later date.
Any other comment?
So Main Street was with finance? Explain it.
Currently it is.
Well, currently it is,
So would it-
but again, finance doesn't, if there's something, think about the different things that can happen, whether it's leaves need to be moved, grass needs to be cut, whatever. Finance doesn't have those type of employees to do that. Community development does. So that's why it makes sense on paper to do it. And it once was under community development.
So what's the difference though with the, you had employees, finance, you had employees working under you is what you?
She's always had employees.
Yeah, I have employees, but I don't, there was no involvement with Main Street and the objectives as it lays out today, with, the upkeep of Beaujardin, the planning of events on the riverbank. That does not really streamline back to finance. My biggest roles here, of course, is anything financial, running the utility annex department because that's a big revenue source for us, and anything monetary that is under my oversight. But again, like the mayor said, the resources that Main Street needs is not within my department. Again, I'm not sure how it got under finance, but the resources are not within my department. They're better suited under community development because of the resources that they need on a day-to-day basis, whether it's setting up events, keeping the area clean, manicured, whatever that the case may be.
So basically, you basically go through her to get everything done.
Currently, yeah, because I don't have employees or resources to achieve, or public work, to achieve any of that.
What's coming up, it's not before us right now, but it's number 15, it's part of this with HDBA really taking over Main Street. So it's really, if that passes the council, HDBA is going to be in charge of everything that Main Street did, right? And so then it's putting who's over HDBA's personnel over when it comes to the Main Street?
No, we'll actually have, in conjunction with Main Street having a full-time employee, the city will still have a full-time employee. And the main things that we discussed was, of course, the upkeep of downtown, and then also the rental or hopes of increased rentals of Beaujardin and the properties, planning. I think in our conversation, it'll come up when they present. I think we're jumping the gun a little bit, but they just shared some things that we would still be heavily involved. Definitely having that 50-50 relationship when it comes to just managing the riverbank and everything that it encompasses. And one of the big things is the rentals and the booking of that property.
So they'll be, I'm just trying to get a good understanding. So you said introduction number 15 is the Historical Business Association. So there'll be more than 50-50 with community development or Main Street?
It's listed as Main Street, but the relationship right now with HDBA is, and I'm sorry to jump the gun, tell me if I need to stop.
I think it's fine, because,
Okay.
I mean, because these
It
pieces are
runs
kind of tied together.
The
Yeah.
current relationship right now with HDBA is that we did share an employee. If you remember Ms. Jill Leo, she was half and half, that we shared that employee. She worked with us, she worked with HDBA. At this point with the renewal, they are going to have one full-time employee that's dedicated solely to them, with whatever objectives that they have, that they've outlaid. And then we have committed to still have a full-time employee and hopefully a part-time employee as an assistant to run the day-to-day course of what comes with Main Street. And like I said, one of the biggest things is now that Beaujardin is back open, booking that area. And then also with any efforts that they have, all the different festivals and things of that nature, which again, not to harp on it, is mostly done through community development when it comes to setting up, taking down, just the upkeep of that area. They will be over the riverbank and everything that it encompasses. So regardless of where we sit, that is what the relationship now will read. I don't want it to be mistaken that they will be managing Main Street completely, because they're kind of taking their person because they're needing some additional efforts, on their side, and then we're committing to still have a adequate staffing for the city side to support that.
So basically,
that marriage there.
We just need the cleaning part.
So
Yeah.
who's going to be
Managing
over
part,
who's going to be over the hiring, the firing, the management of our part-time and full-time employees at HCBA?
No, sir. So that's what we were trying to make sure we clarify. Those are still city employees. And if it stays as it is today, they will be under finance, and I will be responsible for the hiring and firing and maintaining and managing of that. And if we do choose to move it, then it would be community development, whatever we you guys as a council, not we, you guys as a council approve or not. But we still are responsible for managing those employees.
I understand Ms. Jill, I just found out Ms. Jill Leo had left, but will there be advertising for new?
We have.
We are
We've
actually
advertised.
actively advertising. Yeah, so we had I hate to get into the weeds and tell me if I need to stop, but we did have an employee that is now moving over to HDBA.
I think she's going to do a great job.
She's
Christina
going to do a
Friday.
fantastic job. She's
Who is
actually a
that?
great,
Christina
Christina Friday. She's going to be moving over to assist with HDBA and all of their efforts, and then we will be hiring a new full-time person and, like I said, hopefully a part-time person.
Yeah, so look, if they're, again, this is just introduced, so, you can certainly reach out if there are any questions or comments, but again, it's just, in my opinion, it makes sense, because community development ultimately is going to get called on anyway when it comes, as Clarissa said, to setting up, the of the downtown.
It's just the management of the
I mean, it just goes hand in
marriage,
hand, and it always has gone on hand in hand. Now, like I said, I can't vouch for why it was changed. I don't know, but I can't speak to that. I wasn't there, but it just makes sense for this to be under community development and things of that nature. Okay. All right. We also have some other things for introduction, and the next one is read by Councilwoman Elora Smith.
Thank you, Mayor. This is ordinance number 013 of 2025, an ordinance renaming West 3rd Street as Miss Moffett Way, providing for a public hearing, providing for an effective date of the ordinance, providing for procedure in remarking street, and providing for designation of name change on public records. Whereas West 3rd Street is a dedicated public right-of-way which runs from its intersection with Texas Street in a northeasterly direction through its intersection with Sabine Street and continuing to the northeast for another block to its terminus. Whereas further, Zelma Moffett and members of her family have operated several businesses at or close to the intersection of Texas Street and West 3rd Street, and the City Council desires to rename West 3rd Street in order to honor Zelma Moffett. And whereas further, the City Council is of the opinion that West 3rd Street should be renamed Miss Moffett Way in order to honor Zelma Moffett. Now therefore, be it ordained as follows to wit, Section A, be by the Mayor and the City Council of Natchitoches convened that West 3rd Street is hereby renamed Miss Moffett Way. That's Section A. Section B, be it further ordained that a public hearing is hereby called for the 28th day of April 2025 to consider this name change. Section C, be it further ordained that after the public hearing and upon adoption of this ordinance, that the city clerk be authorized and instructed to file a copy of the ordinance with the clerk for Natchitoches Parish. Section D, be it further ordained that appropriate street signs be installed to designate the name change. Section E, be it further ordained that West 3rd Street be redesignated and changed to Miss Moffett Way. Section F, be it further ordained that this ordinance shall go into effect upon publication as provided by law. And this is for introduction only.
All right, now, we put in there Miss Moffett Way. It could be Drive Street, whatever. It doesn't, not really strong on which one that is. And I think everybody knows Miss Moffett's contributions over the years. Thanks to her not as a school counselor. And I didn't ask her family to be here tonight. I could ask somebody to be here on the next meeting. Now, this one will be different than the second one with Joe Dumars. This one, how it's written, I think, would be a name change. But it could go either way. I mean, it could, because what we're proposing for Joe Dumars, because it's Amulet, because he lived at the corner of Amulet and, I guess, Lee Street back in the day, MLK now, was like a secondary name. You still keep Amulet, but you just do a little secondary sign. So everybody's thing will still say Amulet. And I had a picture that, I don't think we projected it, but the city of Philadelphia recently did it for Will Smith, and it was just it was a secondary situation. They kept East 70th or whatever. So just to give some, and I've got some ideas from other people. I know how it gets with people, you know, well, why not this person, that person? And I can understand that being the case, but I do think it is important that the city honors those individuals who had made some pretty significant contributions over time. And so, again, I think there's some other worthy people who are out there. So, but this is the one on Miss Moffett, again, West 3rd. I think you've got you got the store, of course, then they've got an office behind it. Then I think you got a house on the back, and you got the mechanic shop. So it's like a smaller street.
Short
yeah,
street,
it's not really. And I think the one resident, Ed, is that resident on, you think that resident, Ed, because your office is over there, is that resident on West 3rd?
No.
Is there a house on the corner of West 3rd on the back? Maybe it's not.
Sabine.
What's that? So it will be Sabine? Okay. I guess it will be West 3rd and Sabine.
There
Is there a house right there?
There's no houses.
Well, I know the office is right behind.
The mobile home, that's it, there's no.
That's it? Oh, okay, so you don't even have
mobile
a,
home.
So no address.
you don't even have a, you know, house. I mean, like I say, the mechanic shop gets stuff. So,
Yeah, it's a mobile home they use as an office.
okay. I thought there may have been a house on Sabine and West Third, but okay, I was misremembering. So yeah, any comments y'all have? I mean, this is obviously ultimately going to be whatever your blessing is.
I mean, you know how I feel about these. It causes a chain reaction typically for 911, Google, GPS, those kind of things. You got to really dot your I's, cross your T's when you do something like that, because it can affect somebody in an emergency situation. It also opens up Pandora's box in that when you allow one, you're going to get an influx typically of a lot of requests. This particular one, on the other hand, it's unusual in that West 3rd Street is the third street. There is
You got 3rd Street, East 3rd.
and then East 3rd.
And then West 3rd.
3rd.
Mhm.
So it actually, to some degree, cleans up a third of the 3rd Street. No pun intended. So there's some positives in there. If it weren't for the 3 bay doors of the mechanic shop, which has a Texas Street address, I would say if they're going to rebuild that facility, give them the street and let them name it Moffett Driveway themselves. That would, that would have been one consideration, but you can't do that because
It's publicly
that
owned.
was built back with no lot lines. You don't have the restrictions that you do now. If you were going to build that mechanic shop, you'd have to have clearance to back the vehicles in and out. So that one, I'm kind of, and I knew Miss Moffett.
Uh-huh.
Delivered to that store for 20 years.
Right, right.
I've kind of been on that one.
There's no residence, you have to worry about them changing
There's
their
no
addresses.
address change.
No, yeah.
That's where it gets just be a
Yeah.
headache. Like
Amulet
you
is
mentioned,
Changing
the Amulet one is staying
addresses.
totally
Amulet.
different.
Right.
Yeah. So
that
again, we could get to that one next, but and we could talk about that. But yeah, you're right though, Councilman Harrington, that it would be secondary. Again, it's such a long street, Amulet, and you do have homes there, and But we did want to do something. But we could talk about that. Anything else about Ms. Moffett? Whether it's Way Drive Street, not stuck on that, but I think something on her. And again, I think there are some others that certainly can be identified, something I thought about. And I get you, you don't want to just, I think it has to be a certain, you feel that impact with certain people, that recognition, I think. And again, maybe we get it on paper and say what it is, but, but everybody's going to be a little different in terms of their contributions.
Man,
I think it'd be great to honor her.
That whole block pretty much is owned by that family all the way from that 3rd Street all the way over to that Dixie. They own that whole block right there. I think it'll be great, way to honor her.
Yeah, gotcha. Look, and please reach out to me if you need to on that. The next one is read by Councilman Nielsen.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to read this one in title only, as the verbiage in it really says name change, and I think the consensus of the council is to do it in honor of and keep Amulet Street. So ordinance number 14 of 2025, an ordinance renaming Amulet Street as Amulet Street, Joe Dumars Lane, providing for a public hearing, providing for an effective date of the ordinance, providing for procedure in remarking street, and providing for designation of name change on public record. And this is for introduction.
Yeah, and I see what you mean in section E. It says that Amulet Street be redesignated and changed to Amulet Street, comma, Joe Dumars Lane, which that reads to me that the official address of someone would be 101 Amulet Street, comma, Joe Dumars Lane.
Yeah.
Would then become their address.
So it needs to be
cleaned up.
Well, and I talked to Tommy about this. He said I told him my intent was to do a secondary name, and I didn't think that, I didn't even know if we, but yeah, we just need to make it clear that the intent is still to keep it amulet, but do a secondary street name for Joe Dumars. And I mean, let's just talk about Joe Dumars. I mean, I think he's called Booby. Isn't he Booby around here? Anybody grew up in that time? Y'all don't remember that? Booby? All right. But obviously, I wasn't born when he was going through his deal. But to think that you have somebody who not only made it to the NBA, but contributed 2 championships as a player, played for the Detroit Pistons. I think there was a time in which his father died during the finals that he flew to the funeral. Also, maybe Rodman and maybe Jerry Salley. Is it Salley? What's his name? First name? John Salley. John Salley. You know, folks like that were here at the funeral. You know, it's not all the time that a community has a person who makes it to the heights that he has, not only as a player, but a championship as president. I'm thinking, was that the 03 Detroit Pistons? Was that with Ben Wallace and those folks?
Yeah, about 2000.
I think that was about 03. So he was the president of that team. He's still associated with the NBA. You know, just, you know, I mean, I didn't know him, but I'm proud of his accomplishments and proud that he's from Natchitoches. And I think it's just about time. Now, we do have the granite pieces that were right here on Trudeau. I think those have been picked up and placed at the Pocket Park on Line Avenue. It's not Line Avenue. The one Kaiser Avenue turns into, what's that? It goes into Kaiser Avenue? Pine. If somebody said, well, Pine, that's right, Pine. Okay. So that's something now that's hidden off again. I just think that and like I said, I think there's some others too. But I know we don't want to get crazy with it, but I think there's some others as well. But I think we could say Joe Dumars certainly is worthy of some recognition in our city.
Yeah, I'm just worried about legally changing the name completely when it just comes to everyone's legal address, when it comes to 911. I just can't imagine it's a headache. But if we keep it amulet, but then we put, like, I know what you're talking about. I saw the Will Smith picture, and that was perfect. They kept it the exact street name for legally, your street address doesn't change, but then they have under the street name, they had Will Smith.
Will Smith Way or something like that. And they did a different color or something. Mm-hmm. But it's just something to recognize that person. So we'll just make sure that this legislation is not legal to the point of having to go through that. But
because then everyone would have to have their address, everything. It'd be cool.
And Mayor, also, I've seen in other cities where they have signs dedicated in honor of, you know, posted up. And that may be something we may consider doing right up under the street sign dedicated in honor of Joe Dumars.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen that throughout plenty.
I wonder how you do that if they're still living.
Visited.
Is honor of is when they die or when they?
No, they can be memory
okay,
of.
memory. Okay.
Well, I've seen in honor of. But I've seen in honor of
so
too.
Memory of that they passed away. Okay.
In honor of.
Too, for future, if we do have another opportunity, my opinion, it'd be easier to rename part of the bypass possibly, because you can petition the state, and the state's going to get quicker recognition from Google and GPS and that type of thing.
So you're saying if we have somebody else, we would like to recognize?
Yeah, like Charlie told with the Houston Oil.
Oh, man, okay. Send me that name. I gotta Google that. Okay, I didn't know Charlie. Charlie's from Natchitoches? Okay.
I'm a Houston Oilers fan.
Hey, we gotta do better? Yeah. Oh, come on, man. We gotta do better too. All right. Okay, but again, we could talk about that some more, but just to give Joe some recognition, okay? All right, the next thing is read by Councilman. The next item is read by Councilman PT dealing with HTBA.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 015 of 2025, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Natchitoches, Louisiana, to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement with the Historic District Business Association, providing for an automatic annual renewal, providing for advertising, further providing for severability, and further providing for a repealer and effective date of ordinance. And this is just the introduction.
Look, HDBA has been a really good partner with the city for years, even before me taking over. We want to certainly continue that relationship to support tourism, want to promote it even more, want to see it grow bigger, be better, all of that. They've taken the car show and just, it's an amazing car show now. And I'm sure it started out amazing, but it's grown, is what I'm trying to say. They're over the Christmas festival. So there are some things that it says in there, the Christmas festival, the car show, You have, I think, is it Which Way, that Pumpkin Clove, a few things that it says that they manage. But the big thing is that they make sure we keep our Main Street certification. And I can tell you, Natchitoches is, we are the top. We're the cream of the crop. We're the best out there when it comes to Main Street. And that certainly has been built up over years. And, I hope Miss Sandra doesn't mind me saying it, but she doesn't mind sending me a text. This looks ugly. This needs to change. And, we certainly try to jump on it. But you need people who look at your city. That's what we're trying to develop with the Main Street person, to make sure that's that person on the city side who's making sure that everything's in order, everything looks good when we have people to come. Because I've been to a lot of Main Streets, y'all, and they're not, Kendrick Lamar, they not like us, all right? It doesn't look like what we have. And again, it's our folks who have built this up over the years. And so again, we should be really proud. We do have representation, HDBA, and I try to shout them out. They're the folks behind the scenes, but they're the ones who make it work in terms of your Christmas festival. We know, again, our city folks do a great job with public works, community development, law enforcement, fire to some extent, especially on the Christmas fest day, and other departments help as well. But I don't know if there's somebody from you all, I see 3 of you here, who wants to say something about this agreement. And of course, there may be some things that we will look to change, y'all, in the agreement, so we may have to make a few changes to it. I talked to Ms. Sandra through text today. So anybody want to say something from HCBA? Okay, well, look, Ms. Sandra, come on. Oh, I know. Hey, we'll get you to state your first and last name and whatever you want to share. Again, we're looking forward to a continued partnership with HDBA.
I'm Sandra Dickens. The reason we're trying to we have a CEA with the city now, but Beaujardin is fixing to blow it out of the water. We are getting phone call after phone call. And that is when you have to go work an event at night, or you work an event on Saturdays. Most people have a wedding at night or on Saturday. All that kind of all those kind of things. And then the riverbank. So we wanted to get Main Street back doing mainly riverbank, Beaujardin, that kind of thing. We will keep up the certification for Main Street, because when we took over, I don't know, I think it's been 12 or 13 years ago, the city had lost their Main Street designation, and it was pretty intense to get it back. So we'll keep up the certification, we'll attend the meetings, we'll do all that kind of stuff. We'll help with advertising. Beaujardin hasn't been advertised in a while. So now that it's getting back to where we can use it, it's gonna blow it out of the water. It's gonna be great for Natchitoches.
Well, look, we appreciate you, Ms. Sandra, and your entire group. Not a lot of people say it. You all just do your work. You take criticism and things like that maybe shouldn't be your way. But I think everybody loves Natchitoches.
And I can send you texts.
What's that?
I can send you
Oh, look,
texts.
yeah, look. Hey, look. Hey, I just take it, and hey, if it needs to happen, it needs to happen, so. But again, we're looking forward to a continued partnership. And what she mentioned is the Rock House, Beaujardin. Well, she didn't mention the Rock House, but, they kind of go together. And with Beaujardin. So, and that's what we're talking about, the explosion we're going to see. So we're working on that agreement too. So we should see them maybe the next meeting. Hopefully that'll be on the agenda to continue to support tourism. All right?
Yeah, Mayor, on this, I'm looking at on paragraph where it says, whereas further, the CEA further provides for an automatic annual extension provided that neither party notifies the other in writing. That should be either party, I'm assuming, so that correction needs to be made. And neither, that means you don't have to notify each other if you terminate, but it should be that you should notify each other if you're terminating the agreement within 30 days of the renewal date of the CEA. So I just want to make that.
Okay. All right, we'll certainly look at it. We'll look at it to make sure the language is correct. Thank you for bringing that to us. Okay, again, that's just introduced, all right? So we've got 2 resolutions. The first one is read by Councilwoman Washington Eloy. Eli. Eli. She know why I said that. Okay. All right, come on,
Thank you,
Councilwoman Washington
Mayor.
Eli.
And it's Councilwoman Washington Eli. Look at you. Anyway.
My bad, my
But
bad.
resolution number 28 of 2025, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute change order number 1 to agreement between the city of Natchitoches and FW Electrician Contract INC to replace airfield sign and lights of the Natchitoches Regional Airport State Project. And whereas the city of Natchitoches awarded the bid for FA Electrician Construction INC by ordinance number 031 of 2024 in the amount of 2,000, I'm talking about 2,000, my bad, 425,000 to replace airfield signature lights of state project, Natchitoches Regional Airport, and whereas March the 25th of 2025, the contract is your change order number 1 and 1 fully described as attached. And whereas the contract seen will increase by change order number 1 in amount of $1,588.75, and the revised contract to be a total of $426,588.75. And whereas the city is on opinion to change order number 1, 1 is the most interest of the city, now therefore be resolved by the city Council of Natchitoches to legal session convened that the Honorable Rodney Williams, Jr., Mayor, and hereby authorized and power to direct to execute referring change order number 1 of the agreement between the City of Natchitoches and the contract. And I move to adopt resolution number 028 of 2025.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Ed, you got some comments here?
Yeah, this is just an electrical part that no one was aware when the project began that there was an issue with. As the project came to an end, we noticed that part was not working properly, so it was added into the project by way of a change order, and this is covered by the LADOTD, so it's no expense to the city.
Covered by LADOT. What do you say the monetary value is? I'm just curious.
A little over $1,500.
$1,500? Okay.
$1,588.
Gotcha. Any comment here? All right, seeing none, Mrs. Stacy, roll call vote.
Eli.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Harrington.
Yes.
Pettit.
Yes.
All right, that motion carries. Last item on the agenda is read by Councilman Harrington.
Resolution 32 of 2025, a resolution appointing and designating Ronnie Williams, Jr. as a representative of the City of Natchitoches to the local ITEP committee pursuant to Louisiana Administrative Code 13, Section 549. Whereas under authority of Louisiana Administrative Code 13, 529, the state of Louisiana provided for the Louisiana Industrial Ad Valorem Tax Exemption Program, referred to as ITEP. And whereas further, ITEP calls for the establishment of local ITEP committees pursuant to Title 13, Section 549, and further provides for election of representatives from each local government entity by majority vote at a public hearing. And whereas further, the City Council of the City of Natchitoches desires to elect Mayor Ronnie Williams, Jr. as a representative of the City of Natchitoches to the local ITEP committee. I move to adopt Resolution 32 of 2025.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. You know, how this used to take place, Governor John Bell Edwards had a way where, I think it was the first some board in Baton Rouge would make these decisions on, ITEP is the industrial tax exemption program. It's relative to industry and the tax breaks that they could get. And obviously, we want to do that. We want to have a good business climate here, and that's just one of the things we have. And when Governor Landry came on, they wanted to, I think we could say it like this, Laura, maybe streamline it a little bit. The way it used to happen before, a particular industry would have to come to each of your councils, if you would. They would go to the school board if they're in the city. They'd also go to the city council. And then in the parish, of course, you have the parish council, still go to the school board. So this just gives you one board to go to. And I think what the parish president, he's asking that his board would appoint him. We would have to appoint somebody, you know. I'm not sure what the school board is doing. Are they doing Eloy or somebody else? Wascom, all right. So you have to have a representative, so, on this board to make these decisions, and obviously we won't, we certainly need some industry to come, all right? We're trying to work hard on that. Any comment about this? And obviously, when we face these, I'll share with y'all and kind of see what y'all, try to take the will of the council to this meeting, but I think I commend our city council on being one. I think historically that's been, hey, let's do it so we can keep it going. They don't have to be here, but we want to show them, look, we value you being here, and we'll give you that exemption, because what we get in return are those jobs, and then so many things you really can't put on paper. The being here, the sales taxes that support your housing industry, and it's good all the way around. And we certainly, the benefits outweigh any taxes we give up. All right. Any additional comment about this? All right, seeing none, Mrs. Stacy, roll call vote.
Eli?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Harrington?
Yes.
PT?
Yes.
All right, that motion carries. Friday is Good Friday, so that means that's one of our city days off. They're very few as compared to education. We had a whole lot, but again, so we want people to cherish that, and our employees certainly work hard on a daily basis for us, and we appreciate it. I don't know if there are any other announcements. We got any announcements on the announcement slide? We, of course, we're getting into our season a little bit. We have, please download the Go Natchitoches app. Thankfully, we haven't had to use Regroup as much as it relates to hurricanes and droughts and those natural things, so we're thankful for that. But we still use it when we have to close a street down and things like that. So again, download that. Encourage people to do it as well. Family picnic in the park. This is the Natchitoches City Park, and this is joining us for sandwiches, yard games, and entertainment. Who sponsored this? Who was that? Was that the library?
That's tomorrow.
Okay, that's the library. And that's on tomorrow, the 15th, which is also tax day, so get your taxes done. All right, so again, that's happening. Okay, shred service. Hadn't seen this in a little while on April the 25th from 10 to 2 p.m. It's going to be held that's the Natchitoches Parish Library main branch, which is there on 2nd Street, so they have a shredding service, so that's pretty cool to do. All right, we've got a Little Eva annual spring event, Saturday, April 26th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And look, this is just a really good company. They've got great pecans. These are folks with the pecans, right? Mm-hmm. They do the pecans. My dad loves their brittle. They make some of the best brittle ever. So I'm going to put that down on my calendar to make sure I go. All right. May 10th from 1:30 to 3 p.m., the Natchitoches Art Guild and Gallery. So come celebrate your mother, enjoy the Jazz Fest. So it's the same day as the Jazz Fest. So we're looking forward to a great Jazz Fest, but also the Art Guild is putting on something, and we want to certainly support that. The Natchitoches Jazz and R&B Fest, Gretchen Wilson. She's the headline person, right? Yeah, Gretchen Wilson is. But you also got the Funk Legends, the Barcades. I've heard people talk about them as well. Looking for a really, really great Jazz Fest, praying for great weather. Again, Mother's Day weekend, that Friday and Saturday. So this is year number 26, I think? Is it? It doesn't say on there, does it? I don't think it says it. But they've been doing it for a while, and we want to continue to see it grow. I have people, I was just at the Mid-South City Conference. She says, look, I already got my tickets. I'm hyped about it. I come every year. It's great. So that's good. All right, let's see what else we got going. Save the date. This is for the Fair Board. Okay, we've been pushing that a little bit. May 17th. And again, as a cook-off, I think we've talked about getting a team from the city to do participate in the cook-off. So don't know how that's going. But this is their 3rd annual. So we want to support them and what they do, hosting events and trying to accommodate the community with that. Of course, they put on the fair. That's the biggest thing they put on.
They're going to do crawfish.
That's it? Okay, that's it. All righty. All right, we kept you to 7:05 today. All right, at this time, we'll hear a motion to adjourn.
Mayor, make a motion we adjourn.
Second.
All right, motion has been made and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Meeting is adjourned. Have a great night, everybody.